Here. Keep it moving. Come on. Hop. 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 Sit. Down. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, you are a good girl. Yes, you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all in the house, we just started up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to start off like this. Y'all see the puppy working? We getting that work in, and we getting that work in. We don't have nobody in the room yet, so we going to keep on working for a minute. We going to wait till some people come in the room, and then we going to let you have it, because we got good stuff going on today. Good stuff for you. Good stuff for me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing today? You still working, baby? Hard. Yeah. 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 No. Chill. We working on a small area. Yes. Yes. We working it. Come on, girl. We working it. This how you work a puppy. Yo. Hey, I didn't ask for that down. Come on. Come on. Come. There you go. There you go. I just needed you up. No. There you go. And we working. We working today. Today. Come. Today we working. You gotta work today, Susie Woozy. Who said you wasn't working no more? Hop. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Let me give you Ted. You got Ted up there? Oh, yeah. This my girl. Blocks 9. Blocks. Bravo. Stay. What's happening? We got some people in the room. Nobody's in the room. Where y'all at? Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. We doing a few minutes later than normal for today, but we doing today anyway. And I'm going to bring it out to you like this. Today's show is nothing short of amazing. We're going to keep the amazing part of it in it. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to make sure that you get your money's worth. Y'all saw me working a dog. Y'all see that that's going on. And this is how we're going to start today's show off. If you having dog problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but this bitch ain't one. Welcome, Control. Episode 99, y'all. What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I got 99 shows, and she in a lot of them, but I got 99 problems, and she ain't one. What's happening? This how we doing it. This is Controlled episode 99. I am Master Christian. This is your co-host back here, Susie Spaniel. We're going to kick her out a little further so you can see her. And today's show is all about what we got going on here. Problems. We ain't got none of them problems. Let's get started. Everybody has problems. Everybody has problems. Did y'all know? Welcome everybody that's coming in. How you doing? Hello, hello. Everybody has problems, but having a problem and understanding a problem are two completely different things, yo. You can have all the problems in the world, but if you can't understand your problems and figure out a solution and how to fix it, use some problem solving, yo, you got a real problem there, because your problem not the problem. Your problem is yourself. This show is controlled. We're going to show you how to control that and keep it moving. A lot of people spend time being upset about a problem than actually studying it. We complain about the behavior. We blame somebody. We get frustrated. We try the first solution that comes to mind. Then when the problem returns, we say nothing works. Hey, you got to get in there. Nothing works. Yo, you can't have all these problems like I said. If you having dog problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems and this ain't one. She ain't one. This is not a problem. This is a cute girl here. I found her. Yeah. So if y'all got all them problems popping off, y'all need to go ahead and relax. Because everything can't be a problem. Everything can't move. Your mountain, can't let it happen. Can't let it happen. Hold on. Did we ever identify what was actually wrong? Animals do not have the luxury of presenting problems or of pretending problems do not exist. If an animal cannot find food, escape danger, communicate effectively, or adapt in a changing environment, the consequences can be immediate. Humans encounter problems differently, but the principle is the same. A problem requires a response, and the quality of that response determines what happens next. Yo, if you got problems, you need to have some responses, because the quality of your response determines what happens next. If you got the right response, then no more problem. If you got the wrong response or you have no response, problem, problem, problem. That's what we dealing with. Problems, yo. Today we are going to learn how to stop simply having problems and start becoming better at problem solving them. What? Problem solving problems. Yeah, you got to solve these things. You can't just sit there and say, my dog poops on the couch and I'm blocking off the doors to stop him from pooping on the couch. You didn't fix the problem. You actually created an obstruction. Now, before you can get to the couch, you got to go move things and all this. And your dog is only doing this when you're not at home. So, y'all been talking to me for 98 shows. Today, 99. Can we fix that problem? Dog left at home alone, free, pooping on the couch, blocking it off to stop the dog from going to that certain area, thinking it's because your wife slept on the couch and your dog gets some way or some form is mad at your wife. But that's not the problem. You done got all in the dog's head trying to figure out what the dog's problem is. But you haven't figured out what your problem is. So today, we're going to problem solve that. We're going to problem solve that in 1 second. When you have a problem, what do you normally do first? React, blame, avoid, or investigate. If control makes you think differently about everyday behavior, subscribe right now. We are building a community of people learning how to observe better, understand behavior, and make better decisions. Let's identify the real problem. Before we get into the first segment, I just brought a problem up. Let's identify the real problem. So we have a dog, when it's left unattended, out free at home, it goes to the couch, way down in another room, and it defecates on that couch. Yeah, it eliminates on that couch, whatever you want to call this. It poops on the couch. And what the people have done, they've started blocking doors, closing this. They started putting up obstructions in their home to fix this problem because they feel like it's the dog's problem. And the one statement that they made in the question I asked, I said, is the dog free when you leave the house? What do you mean by free? Free. Free to roam and go wherever it goes when you leave the house. Yes. Okay, so we got that. We got some information now, collecting data. This is what we're going to use to fix the problem. So, does your dog use the bathroom on the couch when people are home? No, the dog doesn't use the bathroom on the couch when people are home. Okay, why do you think the dog is going to the bathroom? Well, I think the dog is mad. My wife slept on the couch a couple times, and I think my wife's sin on the couch is making the dog go down there and use the bathroom on it. It's mad she slept on the couch, or it just don't like her scent, or what's going on. So the dog, hey, what's happening? The dog is going down to the couch when we all leave to use the bathroom on the couch. Out of spite, they say. So I said, well, what do you think? Is there any other alternatives than blocking off the room? They said, that seems to work. But whenever you want to go in the room, you got to start moving stuff, right? You can't move through your home freely. Well, no, we can't. But the dog is not going on the couch. Okay, so free dog, using the bathroom on couch, blocking off the room is the solution. Anybody got any answers? Can we get a better solution here? How do we stop the dog when they leave from going to the bathroom on the couch? Ding, 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 ding. If you having dog problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems and this dog ain't one. Yo, y'all hear me? So how about we put the dog in the kennel before we leave? I asked, do y'all have a kennel? Yeah, we got a crate. Okay, how about this 2-year-old dog gets put up before we leave the house? Well, if I put her up, I like her to be free. Don't matter what you like. She's defecating on your couch, and that's not sitting well with you, and you're doing work to fix that problem by blocking it off every time, and you're making all these maneuvers. You're already putting in the work. How about we put in the work to a different area? We lock her up, and then we use the leash. Yeah, the leash. We use the leash in the house. Let's get this leash off this doggy right here. We use the leash in the house to control where the dog goes when the dog is not in the kennel. How about we use the leash? How about we start teaching the dog? We clean that couch up real good. We go down there with the leash. We sit on the couch. We make sure the dog's not messing with it. And we continue to put the dog up when we leave until the dog is mature enough. First and foremost, before we leave, we know the dog is pooping. How about we take the dog to poop before we leave? How about we block off some time so we can make sure that the dog poops before we leave and then put the dog in the kennel? You should do that anyway. Let's get this problem solved. You should take your animal to the bathroom before you leave every single time. So in changing the game for the dog and restricting the dog's movement by using equipment, kennel, leash, your time, now that energy you've been expending on blocking stuff off and being frustrated and trying to fix what the dog is doing, now you're problem solving. And we can solve that problem. We can change what the dog is doing, but it's going to take time. Nothing happens just like that. But the problem is not the dog going to the bathroom on the couch. The problem is that you haven't changed what you're doing. So you are the problem, even though the dog is the one going to the bathroom on the couch. Now, if you can't follow me, it's cool, but you can follow me. You can follow, like, subscribe, share, and support. Go ahead and knock that out. You cannot solve a problem you have not correctly identified. I identified the problem. The problem is the people leaving this young dog free to roam, and they have identified what the dog is doing, but they haven't changed what they're doing. Did you take the dog to the bathroom? Did you put the dog up because the dog is not mature enough to roam around your house when you leave? Yo, hey, but when I tried to tell this person, they were a little resistant at first, because how did he know what he's talking about? Why would he know what he's talking about? Because dogs that pooped on my couch before, bruh. And I had to fix it. Because there is a fix. Because they're not doing it. They're not hopping up on the couch while you're there and squatting. No way. They're doing it when you leave. So you got to change everything about how you leave and how you leave them and what kind of situation you left them in. And if they do have to poop while you're gone, it should be in the kennel where there's easy cleanup and not some surprise poop all over the floor or on the couch or wherever they're going. No surprise poop. We shut that down. We take back the house. Your dog didn't earn that freedom. You gave it to him. Understand. Change you. Fix the dog. What we notice first is often the symptom, not the actual problem. Your dog pulls the leash, that is what you see. Your dog pooped on the couch, that is what you see. But why? excitement, fear, lack of training, too much stimulation, learned behavior, poor equipment, inconsistent handling. Different causes can produce similar behavior. Is the dog free and has not earned that freedom? It don't seem like it's earning the freedom if it's pooping in the house. Imagine your car keeps overheating. Adding coolant every morning might temporarily address the symptom, but there is a leaking hose, damaged radiator, or another mechanical failure. You have not solved anything. Temporary relief is not always a solution. You didn't get no solutions out of that. When an animal suddenly develops unwanted behavior, immediately punishing the behavior can miss important information. The behavior might be communicating fear, discomfort, confusion, environmental pressure, or a learned response. Observe first. You got to step outside of it and look at what's going on before you can fix it. Now, I problem solve issues all the time, so I think differently. But we got to bring your mind along so you can think differently also. Because most things that your animal and that people are doing aren't direct assaults on you. They can seem like that, and sometimes they are, but normally it's just a function that can be changed. It's a problem that can be solved, something that you can do. What is one problem in your life where you may have been treating the symptom instead of the cause? You keep treating these symptoms. You got to treat the cause. If you don't want to be sick, you got to get rid of the mucus out your body, because that's the cause. You having a cold or you being sluggish or your lungs being full, that's a symptom. The mucus is the cause. And where's the mucus coming from? We got to go further and dig deeper so we can fix it. Some problems keep coming back because you keep fixing the symptom instead of the source. Stop reacting and start observing, because observing what's going on, that's what I did. I let the man talk. First, he told me all about all the different dogs that he's had, and he's had some amazing dogs. I was impressed. Then he told me about the little dog that he loves so much at home. And then he said, but I got an issue with the little dog. And I'm like, okay, I know little dogs. I know big dogs. I know dogs. What's your issue? And that's when he continued to tell me about what's going on. Reaction gives the problem control. Observation gives you information. I had to take a step and start observing so I could help give the right information to my guy. And he's a New Yorker. Sometimes you just got to hear him out, because New Yorkers already got an idea what the problem and the solution is. Whether it's right, I don't know. But we got something better for him, because I am Master Christian, by the way. You didn't know? Now you know. When something goes wrong, emotion often arrives before analysis. And we get emotionally charged. When we are angry, embarrassed, scared, or frustrated, and now we are making decisions, why emotionally activated? Yeah, you can't be emotionally activated. The first question should not always be, what am I going to do? Sometimes it should be, what exactly happened here? What am I looking at? Let's think about that. Look for patterns. When does it happen? Where does it happen? Around whom? What happened immediately before? What happened after? What changed? That is behavioral observation. So let's go with that. Look at the patterns. What does happen? The dog poops on the couch. Where? On the couch. Around whom? Nobody. What happens immediately before? I didn't take the dog to the bathroom and I left. What happens afterwards? I come home and there's poop on the couch. What behavior is what is the behavioral observation? I didn't do my job and get the dog out to the bathroom before I left. I didn't put the dog in a kennel to keep the dog safe and stop the dog from chewing on things and messing with things, because obviously this is a young dog that's not mature. And I complained and thought I fixed it by blocking off the room and everything. I'm doing everything, but I'm not observing. I'm not pausing. I'm not taking the time to be calm, confident, and consistent with my movements. The only consistent thing I'm doing is blocking the room off and ignoring the behavior displayed. That's what's going on. Suppose you are losing viewers on your content. You could immediately decide nobody likes my show. This is an emotional conclusion. A better approach is investigation. Did impressions decrease? Did people click but leave quickly? Was the opening weak? Was my opening weak? I got 99 problems, but this ain't one. Was the topic less attractive? Did posting time change? Different evidence leads to different solutions. And all these different things, they change the reality of what's going on the show. They sure do. And you got the algorithm to fight too. So don't say my show is just bad. Just say I might have missed the mark. I might have to do some changing and arranging and altering. Okay, good animal training depends heavily on observation. If a dog reacts every time another dog comes within 10 feet, distance matters. If the reaction happens only while restraint may matter. If it happens around food, resources may matter. Patterns contain information, but you got to continue to go on to see what the patterns are. If you just hop out of it and decide this is the problem, you may miss the problem. Do not let frustration make decisions that observation could make. So you could be frustrated, but still you need to observe, because that's where you're going to get your information from. Do you normally investigate problems or immediately respond to them? I hear gunshots. I don't immediately start running, ducking, and hiding. I have to investigate. Which direction are they coming from? What's happening? Am I in danger? Let's see. You can't immediately just burst out into a sprint and follow the crowd or any of that. I watch it happen. It's a herd now. They may be herding you somewhere. Pay attention, observe, slow down, and you'll be able to fix the thing. Your first reaction to a problem is not always your best response. Yeah, your first reaction to the problem might be quick, and you didn't even think about it. So now you are reacting. So I'm gonna give you something to react to. Subscribe to the channel, follow the show, like this, whatever you see if you like it, share it if you know somebody needs this kind of information, and support. We need all the support we can get so we can support others. We already give out free information and help people with their dogs, their cats, their fish tanks, whatever they need. Right here, I'm trading it. I'm giving it to you. So support. $MasterCT. The people will appreciate when other people step in. Shout out to you for stepping in. This show is presented to you by Master Christian LLC. And then we also have a co-presenter. Green is Life Smoothie Juice Bar. 601 Joseph E. Boone, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. Get at them. They got the juice. They got the juice. They got fresh pressed juice. Cold pressed fresh juice. Smoothies and herbs that's going to help you be better in life. Get at them. Green is Life. Get at them at greenislife.com. Check them out. LYF. Life is living your future. All right, so let's keep on moving with the show. Show 99. And the topic is, y'all heard me, problems. But before we go to the show, we must knock out this news. Animals Today news. Fresh off the press. What we got here for today. Animals Today news, Controlled episode 99. Beavers return home after more than 500 years. Well, if I myself leave somewhere for 500 years. I'm really not calling that home anymore, but let's get into it. Two wild beaver kits have been born in Norfolk, England. The first recorded wild beaver births there in more than 500 years. The young beavers are already displaying survival behaviors, including diving, tail slapping. Conservationists are now working on plans that could support a genetically sustainable population from dos beaver. Yeah, two beavers that return home 500 years later. Now, it ain't the two that live there, but we get the general idea. A major problem can be reversed when the environment, resources, and response change. 3 rescue baby spider monkeys get a second chance. Nashville Zoo is caring for 3 infant Mexican spider monkeys. Mexican spider monkeys? They from Mexico. Miso, Macha, and May. Confiscated from the illegal wildlife pet trade. The endangered monkeys were taken from the wild extremely young and are receiving specialized veterinary care before they can eventually join zoo troop. Yo, so somebody got these baby spider monkeys and they kept them, and now the conservationists done got them. Now they holding them, they giving them veterinary care, and they gonna eventually put the spider monkeys in the zoo. That's what's going on with the spider monkeys. Sometimes solving a problem means removing an animal from the environment that created the danger and providing the conditions it actually needs. Well, we can try to provide the conditions that these animals need, but these animals need to be in the wild. That's where they need. Wildlife hospital facing growing demand. Wildlife hospitals and rehabilitation programs continue to face the difficult problem of caring for increasing numbers of injured, orphaned, and displaced wild animals while working within limited space, staffing, and resources. The challenge shows why identifying capability problems early is critical to protecting animal welfare. Problems become harder when demand outgrows resources. Recognizing the limitations is the first step towards building a better solution. You got to recognize when you're going to run out of space. And then you got to get more space. You can't just keep dumping animals into a space that can't handle them, because now you are abusing the animals. We don't want to abuse the animals. We just want to care for them. Care for them. Hero rats put their noses to work. The Sacramento Zoo has welcomed African giant pouch rats associated with Apato's Hero Rat Program. Apato's Hero Rat Program, okay. Their extraordinary sense of smell can be used in specialized detection work involving landmines, disease, and traffic wildlife products such as pangolin, scales, and ivory. Sometimes the solution to a human problem comes from recognizing and properly using an animal's natural abilities. And we can work it out together. We can work it out together. We can use the animals to help us, and we can help the animals, but the animals really don't need our help until we get in their way. Normally the animal's good without us, but okay. Science studies show how animals solve sensory problems. New research examining amphibian smell highlights the very difficult physical challenges animals face when detecting chemicals in water versus air. The work shows how anatomy and behavior can help animals compensate for environmental limitations. A limitation does not always end the process. Adaptation can create another way to solve the problem. Nature has problems too. Survival depends on recognizing the problem, adapting, and finding a solution. And that right there, y'all, was your Animal Today news. Did you like the stories? Let me know in the comments. We'll get better stories if you don't like the story. But this is the truth. We went and got it. We ran back to you with it. And that's Animals Today news. Subscribe, follow, like, share, support. $MasterCT. Moving on. Control what you can control. That brings me to me. I am what I can control. I am the only thing that I can control. So this is what I'm going to control. With that problem we were discussing about the poop on the couch. First, we got to change I am. And then we can change the problem. We can start with some solutions. People waste enormous amounts of energy trying to control things outside of their authority. My authority, you cannot control everybody's opinion, every unexpected event, or another person's decisions. But you can control preparation, your response, your standards, your effort, your boundaries, and your next decision. Those are things that you can control. All of them started with your, because that's what you control. Problem solving becomes much clearer when you separate the responsibility from reality. You got to separate that responsibility because you are ultimately responsible. Just you. Just you. You arrived late because traffic stopped on the highway. You could not control the accident, but perhaps you can control when you left, whether you checked traffic, whether you communicated the delay, and how to prepare the next time. The objective is to identify your available controls. Animals cannot control weather, predators, competition, or environmental changes. But behavior gives them options. Hide, move, wait, seek shelter, or change strategy. Animals survive partly because they respond to the conditions that actually exist. Not to the emotions, not to what we think. They respond to the conditions that actually exist. Not to what I think. I think, no, they respond to, I know. I know this is what's going on. Do you not need control? Hold on. You do not need control over everything. You need control over your next move. That's it. Not everything, your next move. What you gonna do? How much energy are you spending fighting something you cannot control? Energy not well spent. You may not control the problem, but you can still control your response. Yeah, I can't control the dog pooping, but I can control if they out to poop. I can control how they get outside to poop. That's how we building. We building on something. You just don't go and build on air. You need something strong to build on. Build and test a solution. A solution is something you can test, not something you simply believe should work. A solution can be tested. You just don't say, yeah, this solution works. Nah, that ain't how it works. Problem solving requires experimentation. Try something, observe the result, measure what changed, keep what works, adjust what does not. People often abandon solutions too quickly or continue ineffective solutions too long. Both are mistakes. Do not become emotionally attached to your method. Become committed to the outcome, because the outcome is what we're looking for. We're not looking for what we're doing here. We're looking for the outcome. A business is not getting customers. they lower prices, nothing happens. That does not automatically mean the business cannot succeed. Maybe price was not the problem. Perhaps nobody knows the business exists. Now, marketing becomes the next variable to test. Watch an animal trying to access something it wants. It may push, pull, climb, go around, wait, or try another direction. That is problem-solving behavior. Failure provides new information. And every time you fail, you got a whole new information. You know what not to do again. That's problem-solving. You got to do something. If the solution does not work, do not protect the solution, change it. Hey, that didn't work. I failed on that attempt. Let me try again. Don't just keep trying to jab it in. It's not going to work. Have you ever continued doing something that was not working simply because it was your original plan? We do that all the time, right? We keep on trying things that we know not working. Failure is not always the end of a solution. Sometimes it is information for your next attempt. Do not waste the problem. The best solution does not only fix today's problem, it prepares you for tomorrow. So when that problem comes back up or something similar, you have a solution already. You got to keep these solutions. You got to stick with them. The best solution does not only fix today's problem, it prepares you for tomorrow. That's what it is. Every significant problem should leave behind knowledge. What caused this? What warning signs did I miss? What worked? What failed? What should I change permanently? How can I recognize this sooner next time? If you solve the immediate situation but learn nothing from it, you are vulnerable to repeating it. Don't just keep repeating the same problem over and over again because you found no solution for it. And we are people that find solutions to the problems. Make sure you're doing that. Someone repeatedly runs out of money before payday. Getting an emergency $200 solves today's crisis, but the underlying financial pattern remains unchanged. Another emergency is coming. The real victory is changing the system that keeps producing the problem. It's coming. Animals learn through consequence and repetition. Successful behavior tends to be repeated. Unsuccessful behavior may be modified or abandoned. Humans have an additional advantage. We can consciously analyze what happened and use it. You're human. A problem becomes valuable when you leave it smarter than you entered it. That's what you want. You want the data. So you leave the problem smarter than you were when you found it. What is a past problem that taught you something you still use today? What y'all got? Put it in the comments. Do not just survive your problems, collect that lesson. You got to collect the lessons because lessons are blessings. Yeah, blessings. We need all the blessings we can get. Bless yourself with a lesson today of a problem that you solved. Remember it. Teach somebody else when they come to that same problem. Show your kids or your family how to fix it. Don't just sit back and watch them mess up too and feel like, hey, they don't know as much as I do. Share the information. It makes all of us stronger. If something in today's show episode gave you a different outlook on problem and problem solving, the things that you're dealing with, subscribe to Control. We are not just talking about animals. We're using behavior to understand animals and people and ourselves. We trying to understand living things right here. We trying to control the things that we can control, which is yourself. That's what you can control. If you want to go work out, do that. If you want to go eat, do that. But control yourself. You are moving this machine. Nothing else, just you. Identify it, Do not confuse symptoms with the cause. Investigate it. Observe what gives you information that emotion cannot. Solve it. Then learn from it. A problem should leave you better prepared than before. Pick one real problem today you are dealing with. Do not complain about it. Do not blame anybody. Write it down. What exactly is the problem? What evidence do I have? What can I control? What solution can I test? What will tell me whether it worked? And problem solve that solution, yo. Everybody has problems. The difference is what you learn to do with them. I got 99 problems, but Susie ain't one. Yo, thank you everybody that came to check us out on show 99, 99 Days of Control. I thank you. We are blessed here. Blessings to you. Y'all have a great day. I am Master Christian. This has been Controlled. Episode 99, Problems. Your co-host right here is the Sleepy Susie Spaniel. And we'll be back for that big face 100 tomorrow. 100. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Believe in yourself. Stay calm, confident, and consistent. And love everybody. Y'all have a great day. Peace. We out, y'all.